All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list coming into October 10th, 2019, and the futures are already collapsing. The news is pretty much there's going to be no trade deal. The actual headline is that the US and China make no progress on key trade issues, and that the Chinese delegation is planning to leave Washington one day early, tomorrow, when they were supposed to leave on Friday. So right now, you can even see the S&P's down. This is after hours. You could take a look at even comparing to where it was the last few days. Here's on Wednesday when we hit that low. It's just right there. So we're going to see what's going to happen. Take a look here at the futures. The Dow futures are already pointing down 250 points. So as this progresses throughout the night, even into the morning with everything else we had going on, it is going to be a very, very interesting day. Honestly, it's taking place and happening in a very surreal fashion. It's like everybody expected this, but there was this hope, and that's what the market went up on, hopes of a trade deal today. All throughout the last day, I told you guys it's just going to get confusing and back and forth. So thankfully, we had plays in place that are benefiting us. We're going to be able to cash out on this move. The bigger it is, that now it's about responding. So all in all, I want to talk about what we need to be looking for. I got the keys for tomorrow. I got the plays we made today, and then the plays we're going to be watching tomorrow, along with this strategy, which I'm going to talk about here in the keys. So let's get into it. You guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you subscribe. We're live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. So we will see you here on this channel live in the morning. So you better be there, because this is where a lot of the moves are going to happen. And again, if it does go crazy throughout the middle of the day, this is reminiscent of a lot like August and even what we saw in September. So you're going to want to be there. If you're going to miss it, hey, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. You know, shout out to stream alerts, you know what I'm saying? But the most important thing you need to do, post your watch list below. Let us know what you're looking at. We're going to cover these pre-market, get a good night's sleep, get hydrated, get healthy. Don't get too excited so you don't miss out on everything. And then, you know, we'll go from there. So right off the bat, we'll get into the keys, but I think you guys could see this is bad news, but I will caution you to tell you this isn't as bad as you might think. Or again, we need to see how this digests, and there's going to be two scenarios. But even taking a look, why does it say that we're unchanged here on the market? Because think about it, this is where we closed yesterday on some of that bad news, and then we had that gap up on the hopes, and we're back right here. So it's not as if the market has puked too much, but that means there's a big potential for more downside, but then also it may not come down in this dramatic fashion as everybody expected. So this is where you have to watch out for. Now, putting this into the keys, I'm expecting one or the other. Again, this isn't going to be positive. You need to take a step back. We talked about that bigger picture and how to view this. There's definitely a direction where things are going. So I'm either expecting a two down day move, meaning we're going to drop tomorrow pretty big and then even bigger on Friday, and it's going to be, you know, back to back 500 700 days, maybe bigger, who knows. And that is if it really is bad and we see more and more bad news, we see more and more negative news from both sides even. And then even now, here's the key. This is what happened with the Fed. What does this mean for the future? What does this mean for future trade deals, for the future of the trade war, for U.S. economics, cutting rates, raising rates, everything? I mean, so this is going to have implications, especially how Powell and everything has said it too with, you know, what they want to do with rates. So we need to see how people respond. So we're either going to get that 2-day down move, or we'll get a big down day tomorrow, and that could be, you know, 300 to 700 points tomorrow. Friday will kind of be steady or a small cuckening, and then it continues to a bigger move on Monday, kind of giving us that down Friday, down Monday, bringing in the volatility in the next week, more headlines, more back and forth, and then more expectations. But either way, how this comes into next week is going to be important. That's one level, and then there's going to be profiting off of it in the next 2 days. So thankfully, it's going to be Thursday. So this is going to create a unique situation and scenario for the options. So be careful, because some options are still going to be expensive. We're going to be able to sell some options and collect premium. And again, this is what we said with buying stuff too. But as far as everything else, like I said earlier, watch the big sell-offs. Those are going to occur in the morning. So if it is going to be a big move, you need to watch what happens in the morning. Pretty much the key is that first few hours, if we're pretty much down, literally, you saw even the other day, within an hour within the market, we're almost going to breach, 300 points down, and that's what I'd be expecting to see. So if it doesn't happen like that, be very, very cautious and expect a move like this. This move is very, very telling, because something like this could happen tomorrow, where if we even go down and we start buttering, breaking through those key levels that we've been at and setting more new lows, we might do that very fast, but then it could bounce up here. and then sell off towards the end of the day. Instead of getting mad, saying this is manipulation, saying it doesn't make sense, it's supposed to go down, why don't you just prepare for it and be ready to execute? If you're expecting this to happen and this is all just, it's churning, all going in the direction, because yeah, if you're watching it on a micro minute, this doesn't make sense, but when you start pulling it back, I mean, it's kind of clear what was happening. I mean, it's just patience. So you got to see that. Be prepared on both sides and just put the odds in your favor. Now, this is what's coming down to the strategy here. Sprinkle a small amount in the morning. This is what I'm going to be doing. Understand, too, everything in here, none of this is a recommendation for financial advice. Option trading is extremely risky. You can lose often most of your financial investment. Please consult with a financial professional. But in general, I'm going to be sprinkling a small amount in the morning. So what I mean by this is sprinkle, and I'm probably going to buy. I'm going to find some cheap options to buy. We're going to cover that here, too, UVXY, all that. But also selling some credit spreads. I'm going to sell some calls that we even took advantage of. We were, literally, if some of those plays we sold earlier that were big this week, they had small risk, high reward. This was a perfect time to do those. We're set up pretty nice for those. So those are going to profit for us. Let's see if we could even cover those or hold them till the max, take the profit and run. But essentially, I want to do some plays in the morning, take advantage of that first few hours, and then just and then wait and let them sit there, and then let the other plays work for us. And then now, just because we got the news and we got this move down, it does not mean our work is done. Remember what I'm saying up here. This is going to have an effect for the next 2 days, but primarily we're going to start to see really, really big moves coming into next week, and how you go about playing that is what is going to be key. So be very, very careful thinking, okay, it's down, boom. We talked about entitlement today on stream. Don't get entitled to, okay, it's down, I got it right, I should make money, I'm just going to sit here and now the puts are going to go crazy. No, you're going to need to do some management on the way down and try to maximize the fear and the profits that get generated from the fear, and how you're going to expose yourself to the right risk. That's going to be both buying puts, riding the puts, taking profits, and then even selling the opposite position. Literally, I'm going to be selling put spreads tomorrow to take advantage of what the hell is going to happen to some option prices, and I'm going to take advantage of every single person who is not expecting this moment, and they're going to get pissed. Again, I'm not doing this in a sense where I'm not going to chase anything. I'm not, yeah, sure, I want to prove a point maybe if that's the case, but I don't want to do, I don't care if I'm right or wrong. The key is, everything we're going to sell or buy in the morning, just set a little bit at a time, parlay, roll over some of the profits you made, make sure you pay yourself, and ride the wave all the way down, and just control that YOLO demon, whatever you want to call it. Just control your risk. It's financial management right here, or risk management, whatever you want to call it. So be mature, be smart about it. I know some people are going to be excited too. So if you're watching this right now and you're in the stream tomorrow, if you haven't posted your plays, I don't want to see any flexing, losses, I lost my money on this, or puts, or this or that. Cheerleading, no, it's game time. We got to focus, be with it. It's simple as that. We don't want any of that junk in there. And again, I'm saying this all for you guys too. One for myself. I got my laser focus on. Again, we need to play this. Our work is just beginning. It is not over just because we have the news now. So hopefully you guys are prepared in that sense too. So let's go, baby. And then finally, just watch the bonds and watch how other factors get affected with the rate cuts, everything in the future, and all the other stuff we've been watching, and all the stuff we need to be checking out. That even makes me want to bring up here the Chinese yuan. You notice it did have a big move on the minute when this news first broke. Big weakening here. And remember, the yuan lets us know a little bit more into stuff. So be careful here, though. This is just at the level it's been at these last 3 days. Again, this is a crucial level. And last time the yuan broke above here, China got that currency manipulator designation, so this is going to have an effect, but be careful. Again, watching how the futures or the market's barely unchanged. Don't get ahead of yourself. Do not try to think again. Tomorrow has the potential to be really, really bad, but don't get too ahead of yourself in your plays and go all in and all that. And there's other factors you can monitor to really confirm that. But that's pretty much it. Get ready. It's going to be excited. Hopefully we see you in the morning, but let us get into the plays. I actually don't know why any of these companies are up. I forgot to even put in the stocks I want to watch, so give me 2 seconds. All right, there it is. So right off the bat, watch Apple. We've been talking about this. They've been the strongest. We don't know if there will even be retaliation on China's part to go after them. So Apple is going to be interesting, but they've already dropped a considerable amount. It brings them back down to 224. Or this 222 level, which is pretty decent. I mean, be one of the lower levels here. And even then, we have that Apple Iron Condor. So that's what we're even holding on. And even I forgot, as far as plays today, we didn't do anything crazy. Actually, I forgot. I grabbed that on the Tasty account. But we grabbed a Boeing, and that one's already going to work in our favor. I did another weekly call. It was I think I only got like 176 for it. But what did? We sold the 370, 372.50 here, and we got a 175, or I believe so. Yeah, it was all over the place. Got 175 for that one, so it wasn't too bad. I said I wanted to sell that again. I did it quickly as the event was happening. Go watch the recap from today. We talked about this play a lot. We were going over it, but this was a credit spread on the call side. And again, we're still holding those HD calls that we got yesterday. And then now a lot of the plays from last week, I brought up the Apple here, because this one's going to probably work in our favor now, because this one expires next week. But remember, that top end was 224, and that's where Apple's at now. So watch Apple, watch Boeing. Again, that's one of the plays, but I'm very curious to see what happens here with Apple. But you'll even notice, just take a look at some of these numbers. Even after these big drops, some of these companies aren't down much. But watch Apple. Even now, what brings up more to my attention is Facebook. They're still positive. So you could even see Apple had that big drop, and although we could have profited here on the Facebook, we needed to come lower. Remember last time, Facebook dropped, but it still held up some strength during this downside. So watch out for that. And you can't forget, earnings is right around the corner, which could explain a lot of this for some of these companies. But keep an eye on Facebook and Apple. Again, some of these bigger tech movers, and I even have it here on the last end. I said this yesterday. I want to look into them, Amazon, and how they move. I think they're going to be good either way for earnings. But then some of these bigger stocks, again, we want to take advantage of both high credit on the spreads or big dollar moves that could move if you're going to buy those. So watch out for that. Then we're going to be watching the Boeing. I really like Boeing, because then if Boeing does actually fall and fall hard here, it doesn't show support at some of those like key levels like 364, 368, Boeing could really start to come down here. So that would set up another opportunity. And again, depending on if it does get stuck in this range as it's dropping, Boeing might be a good one to even sell puts on during the drop to kind of hedge ourselves with. So I'm going to be watching Boeing as well. Next is HD. And then again, be careful on all of these plays. Even here's the after hours move, but you're seeing they're not dropping too much. So again, a lot of the moves they made today really benefited them. So just be careful of that and keep that in mind there to see how these are going to move, and don't get too jumpy. And then McDonald's, I haven't made a play on that, but again, you see how it's still up positive. If it's going to move kind of like Facebook and kind of show a little bit more strength, I'm going to be into setting up a play on that one. That might be one of the ones I want to sprinkle in the morning. And then lastly, Baba. We still have those November spreads. Those are going to come back to life. But again, this one could be too. It's been hitting lows prior, and I think it's at a crucial spot here. And if it does start to break below here, we might see a lot of pain here. And again, I think it's very easy to overlook Baba. It seems expensive at times because it really is. But if it does start moving and you catch it in the right direction at the right price, it will definitely give you a good yield. So watch those. Moving on to other plays. Again, another one I might sprinkle in the morning. I think it's great. And now this one's actually a little bit more down, but again, just at the key level here at the 27, because remember where it was yesterday, this is actually hitting more new lows. So this is looking different than the SPY in general. See, the SPY is making a different formation than here. This is actually going down lower and lower. So watch the banks. Watch Bank of America specifically, even now Goldman Sachs for some of that more delta being a bigger stock. Watch TLT, it's up, but still negative. Again, the moves are there, but it's not there. I think I could say this on every single company we put up. So watch how important tomorrow is going to be and that first few hours. And then the play I really like, UVXY. So TLT might still be expensive. That would probably be my second runner up, but if anything, UVXY, these things got crushed. Again, just how they've been going back and forth, you could see this isn't good for the volatility index. It just makes things a lot more cheaper as volatility's all over the place. So this is a benefit. This might be one of those I might sprinkle another one on in the morning and go from there. And then Intel, low volatility, exposure to Apple in a way, chip makers, I like them. A low volatility, this is going to be one that we could sell premium with low risk on. Again, even hedge, kind of like the Boeing, but also buy a cheap 5-10 cent contract if it does go crazy. So I'm going to keep my eye out for those, and I won't even see how they perform relative to the market, but at least you see here after hours, it's down 0.5% versus some of the other companies. And that even actually reminds me then that instinctively brings up Caterpillar for me. See, they're a little bit up. I would have expected them to drop harder, but again, pull up their daily, see kind of where they're at. It looks a little like Bank of America. They're kind of like Alibaba in a way with how they move, but again, they got direct exposure to all this, so watch that. And then last, I was going to say Yang. This is the Chinese ETF. They have low liquidity and they're going to be expensive, but depending on the move, I'm going to eye the options here and see what we could do. But again, I'm not too big of a fan with it usually because of the prices, but sometimes there's opportunities to get these cheap. So watch those. Watch Amazon. That's the final chart with the risk here. I consider these my riskier chart, but watch Roku, the shitty stock rotation. Look at it, barely dropped and then it's ready to shoot back up. So believe it or not, Roku might go up tomorrow, and that's actually something we saw. If you even come back here, this was August 5th and all that, even as Roku was dumping there, it started to go up on all of the news, the earnings and all that. But even then, like from the August 16th to like the 20 to even September, the market was super volatile and Roku just kept going up. So watch out for the shitty stock rotation. I even put that even to compare. You see how strong Roku is, but Shopify's not doing the same thing. But watch them. They could be interesting. I even forgot Beyond Meat. They dropped below that 140. So see if they respond tomorrow and they have that collapse that a lot of people have been waiting for. But if not, watch out for some of its resilience. Then watch Booking for some of that high delta. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it, along with the Amazon. And yeah, again, a lot is going to be strategy. We're going to have plays at our fingertips tomorrow. It's about responding to the market now appropriately, managing what we have, taking control of the risk. So that is your watch list, baby. Make sure you guys are hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Post your watch list. You better drop your like. You better be there in the morning. You should like the video for tomorrow already. Get that. Bring a friend to Cult Day. Stay in the game. We don't want to hear any flexing. We don't want to hear anything, manipulation, this and that. Just if you want to come and learn something, maybe walk away with a few bucks in a couple of lessons, then that's what it's going to be at, man. This, again, I told you guys, this is where traders are made. They'll chew you up and spit you out, man. So there's some Hunger Games shit, man. May the strongest survive. I love you all. I hope you're ready. Don't get too ahead of yourself. Control the risk. Don't feel entitled. Like, oh, the move has happened. This is my only time to make money. I deserve it. Get that out of here, baby, and you'll be good. I hope you guys are ready to have fun. Be in the game. Just be smart. Just let's go. And actually, if you even look here before you go, here are the futures going back up, back to 291. I'm trying to see some of the news, but there you guys go. So if this doesn't explain the frustrating cucking and everything that's going to happen tomorrow, I don't know what does. So let's go.